He says they will soon be at the milestone of 1 mile per day in new border wall. And so this old Washington conversation about amnesty is missing the whole point.
First thing I'd like to say is congratulations on completing the border wall at such a fast rate, at such a fast pace. I've seen it myself driving through Yuma on I-8 going into California. You can see that big, beautiful wall, and I say make it 10 feet higher. Listen, we have a problem that's brewing right now, an amnesty issue. And the bottom line is that we've got 20 to 40 million people that need to get deported. And then from your country of origin, you can reapply back into the United States. I'd like to see this migration thing through the eyes of the founding fathers. So I don't want it to seem extreme or harsh, but I want you to know that I walk in the footsteps of the founding fathers in terms of the immigration idea.
So President Trump has said, we want to have high-value migration into this country, not low-value migration. And we have to deal with the fact that we have millions of people here who are on welfare, who are not contributing, who commit a lot of crime, who consume a lot of public resources, and it's in the best interest of this country for those people to be humanely returned home. That's the big conversation.
Gotcha.
And so this old Washington conversation about amnesty is missing the whole point. The real conversation is, how do we have an immigration policy that makes America stronger and more unified, not weaker and more divided? And that's about having the kind of immigration to this country that makes us stronger, not weaker. And I just learned today that CBP says they will soon be at the milestone of 1 mile per day in new border wall.
Nice.
And that includes, by the way, a water barrier. So on the Rio Grande, they are putting a water barrier in place. There's 5 miles so far, but it's going to stretch all the way across to stop water-based human smuggling.
So a couple of things, Stephen. Everyone said it's impossible to talk about immigration reform without sealing the border. Nobody I know, Democrat or Republican, who does not believe the border is sealed. Leads some to say, like farmers and meat packers, what about some of the illegals here that are helping my company? Which led Mike Lawler, a Republican in a battleground district, to roll out the Dignity Act. Here's a little of it.
It says if you've been here more than 5 years, so not the people that came under Joe Biden's disastrous administration, but the people who have been in this country more than 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years, whose children and grandchildren may in fact be American citizens, they would qualify if they have not committed a crime. They pay back taxes, they pay a fine, they have a job, and they do not collect government benefits. They would qualify for a legal status, not citizenship.
So a little about what he mentioned, but here's some of the facts with the Dignity Act. Where do you stand with it, Stephen?
Well, you know that this administration opposes amnesty. President Trump has always been clear in his opposition to amnesty, and I, of course, you know my own views. But I want to reframe this whole conversation, Brian, if I could, to something that President Trump has been very focused on for a long time, and that's about having the kind of immigration to this country that makes us stronger, not weaker.
We must keep building a country of unified Americans that we can all live in, a safe and prosperous country. That is, illegal immigration has brought such a blight onto this country. It's bad enough that we have to fight our internal strifes, let alone that we invite these people from these third world countries that have no idea how to live in a first world country. Their low IQ, barbaric, tribal mentalities are being brought into this first world society, and it's not working out well. In fact, it's not working out for anybody but maybe them. And I say get them out immediately.
You know, you saw the recent tragic case where an illegal alien from Haiti bludgeoned a woman to death in broad daylight with a hammer, smashing her skull in, one hammer blow after another. That's what happens when you have open borders to this country from some of the most dangerous parts of the world. That's one person that Biden let in, the Democrats let in, to maim and murder our citizens, but there are thousands more. When you have open migration, as we've had, Brian, largely, it was very bad under Biden, but largely for 5 decades before President Trump, we had open migration from the most dangerous places in the world. How do your schools work? How do your hospitals work? How does your economy work? How do you have a society that can win all these great civilizational struggles against our adversaries around the world if you have to feed, house, clothe, educate, support, give affirmative action to millions and millions of people from failed states around the world?
When did it become America's responsibility to feed and clothe and house the rest of the world? This is insane. We have veterans that are on the streets of America that are not being taken care of. We have Americans on the streets of America that are not being taken care of. So any migration has to be high level migration, not low-level migration like we're bringing in now. Has got to stop coming to the United States of America, and they have got to stop being welcomed by this liberal mentality.
So President Trump has said, we want to have high-value migration into this country, not low-value migration. And we have to deal with the fact that we have millions of people here who are on welfare, who are not contributing, who commit a lot of crime, who consume a lot of public resources, and it's in the best interest of this country for those people to be humanely returned home. That's the big conversation.
Gotcha.
And so this old Washington conversation about amnesty is missing the whole point. The real conversation is, how do we have an immigration policy that makes America stronger and more unified, not weaker and more divided?